Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Terrence Ray, and I'm back at you with another stock market update. We're going live right now. Maybe about 10, 15 minutes ago. Let me switch up my layout. There we go. We just concluded the Jerome Powell spoke after the Jackson Hole meeting, where the Federal Reserve meet and decide, what they're gonna do about the economy, or just basically they decide whether they're going to raise interest rates, cut interest rates, and the reason for their policy, how they see the economy going, this, that, and the third, right? But what I wanted to come on, I wanted to hear what he said, and I wrote down some notes. This is going to be a pretty good. This going to be a pretty good broadcast. Just stick with me. We're gonna go over some stuff. I'm gonna go over some terms, and I'm gonna talk to you. Let me go get right to it. So Powell said inflation has declined significantly, um, much closer to objective. I think they're trying to get down to somebody can correct me with 2%, 2.5% inflation or something like that, right? Task of restoring price stability, not complete, but made good progress. Some of those, he was very dovish, which is good for the market, which is why you see the market going up. We're gonna talk about these levels on the screen too. I did buy a call today. We're gonna talk about all of that. And he talked about some of the reasons why for inflation. He talked about the war in Ukraine. He talked about supply shock, um, tight labor market. Um, he did talk about what else he put? This all I wrote down, but it was something else he said. I ain't write it down, but for the most part, I'm gonna go into why, in my opinion, and I'm gonna show you why I think that they're not. They may be telling you inflation is coming down, but as a consumer, you don't see it. I know I don't see it. Right? You don't see it in automobile pricing, like cars. If you look at used cars, new car, whatever, uh, the price is still inflated there. If you look at housing, housing prices are still relatively high. They may never come down, right? In order for, in my opinion, in order for them to come down, you'd have to have like another 2008 like type crisis or something like that for them to reset. Other than that, I don't see them coming down. We get an incident like that, which is possible. Then they may come down a little. Rent is still high and still going higher. But I want to show you now. I was trying you there is I've been trying to, I'm gonna put it on the screen. There's something called consumer price index, right? And this is what they use. They call it CPI. And so a lot of times you would notice that they'll look at the measurement of CPI, and this is how they judge what inflation is doing. Now I'm gonna open up a chart of trading view. I'm gonna bounce around on some stuff. So just bear with me. Trading view, you can look up all of these things. I don't want anything on this chart, but give me a second. I'm gonna I don't want nothing on the chart. How do I take this off? I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. I'll make this big. And we're gonna look at it on a, I hope that's able to, you can see that. That's fine. Now, if you come up here and you click on the little top and then the little up here where you put the symbol in, we're gonna go to economy. And first I gotta take that out. So I'm on economy. We want to look at this right here, T10, 10-year minus 2 year, or 10-year, 2 year. That's the main thing that you look at for your yield curve. But that's not what we're going to look for. We want to look at We want CPI. I probably could just type it in and it'll come up. Let's look CPI. Here's core CPI year over year. Oh, we're gonna pull that up. Now you see that, right? And here's where we are at 2.4. And you can see, and this is being measured. Look, that's July 24, that's June, that's May, and this is what it looks like. So if you're looking at it from right here, this was September 22. So this was 2 years ago. It was way up here, right? So it's down here. Now you see this large decline like this, you would think that like, hey, inflation is coming down based on this number, right? This number right here is saying that this saying core CPI, right? And it's showing you that it's down. But I'm also going to show you why it's not down. I'm gonna drag, just bear with me. Now I'm gonna show you something. This is I just Googled. I hope you guys, I had to make sure dragging this over. I just Googled this, and you see right here where it says, I Googled, is food and fuel included in core inflation? And you got to look how you include it, and like how you search for it, because I was searching and it wouldn't come up. I'm gonna show you what Chat GPT. Let me show you what Chat GPT said first. Then we're gonna get down. I'm gonna show you what. Right. I said, does CPI include food, housing, and energy? It said yes, the consumer price index typically includes food, housing, and energy as part of its calculation. Here's how these categories are generally represented, right? Food, it says the CPI includes food, category that covers a wide range of items, including groceries and dining out. Housing, the CPI includes housing costs under categories like shelter, which can encompass rent. Well, it says which can, owner's equivalent rent, yada yada. Energy costs also included in the CPI, particularly under the categories like energy, excuse me, which includes gasoline, electricity, and fuel oil. Now, that's what it says right there. Now I'm gonna drop this and I'm gonna come out of this, move this over. Now, when I put in is food and fuel included in core inflation? Core inflation is the change in the cost of goods and services, but does not include those from food and energy sectors. So depending on how you word it, it'll tell you what's included in these inflation numbers. So a lot of times, depending on which politician is speaking, I'm telling you that. So you may hear numbers, and they'll say, "Hey, inflation is coming down." I'm not picking sides, right? I'm not. I'm trying not to make it too political. I'm just giving you information. You take it and do with it what you want to do, right? But you may hear somebody say, "Hey, inflation is coming down. Our policies are bringing inflation down." But as people, when you go out there and you spend, you know that your purchasing power, that your dollars that you are spending are not purchasing the same amount of goods as they did before. You're watching, if you're somebody that's in the housing market trying to purchase a home, or your rent, you're noticing that rent, if you're trying to rent something, rent prices are going up or they're continuing to stay high, and it's not adding up with what they're saying. The reason is because it's trickery with the wordplay. And I just showed you how um inflate how food and energy is not included in core inflation. So they're not including the prices of like groceries when you go to the grocery store. They're not including rent prices. And so they have other metrics to do it. And depending on who's speaking to you and what they want to convey, depending on who wants your vote, depends on how they define that inflation. And I'm telling you that the average person defines inflation or defines, how much money their dollar, the purchasing power of their dollar is dependent upon when they go to that grocery store and how much they spend to buy the same amount of goods that it took them maybe a year ago to purchase, or maybe 2 years ago. And people are looking at their rent. People are looking at trying to purchase a home. And that's how they're measuring inflation. But when politicians talk to you, or people in government, they're not using the same metric when they speak to you, the majority of the time. So I just showed you just how, and it depends on if I hadn't have put, like, I'm gonna do it again. Like, you see how I said, is food and fuel included in core inflation? Now, if I take out core inflation and just put in CPI, watch what it say. Now I'm just Googling this. Now it says the consumer price index consists of a family of indexes that measure price change experienced by urban consumers. Specifically, the CPI measures the average change in price over time of a market basket of consumer goods and services. The market basket includes everything from food items to automobiles to rent. So if they're speaking to you and they say the CPI number and they tell you show you how it's come down, and they're going to say, see, here's the consumer price index. It's coming down. So inflation is coming down. They're telling you that, even though you go into the store and you see this stuff is still high. But if you don't say core inflation, which in my opinion, that's the only thing that matter. The people don't care anything about this number. Core, they want to know food and energy, how much you pay at the pump, how much you pay in the grocery store, and how much you pay for room and board. Those are the only things that matter to the average American citizen. Now, I just want to go over that and give a little information. Now, let's get to the markets. Drop that down and let's talk about, now, the market did respond well to the things that he was saying, or his demeanor. If you were looking at the market this morning, now essentially I was going to go live at 9:30 originally, and I seen he was, excuse me, 9:50, and then I was like, well, let him talk, and then I'll come on and I'll cook later. Right. So this morning, but the market was already up. It's right where it was when it opened this morning. Like, it opened with a gap up. Let me drop this stuff down. It opened this morning with a gap up, and now it's giving back some of the move this morning, but it gapped up this morning, and then it moved here, and you can see where it's at right now. Like, it got a little wick right here. These are it's an intraday chart. These are hourly candlesticks. And so basically, the next level up on this Fibonacci extension is right around 570. Once I seen it gapped up, and then it was up, like right around when he started speaking, it started going up. I do think that at some point we're gonna take this out, because if we go, let's go look at a weekly chart. We'll chop this up. You see where we at? So eventually, this is gonna break and take this high out, right? And the next level I got it going to, at least, is right around 570. So all I did was I came out 28 days, and I bought this call down here at at 570. And you can see it's a lot of open interest right here, and it's a lot of volume right here too. Like, 3,000 contracts have been purchased, and the market only been open about an hour and 15 minutes, and we already have 3,000 contracts bought around at this level. Excuse me, I don't know if they're bought or not. They could be sold, and you could have people selling calls up here, but there is a lot of traffic right here. So, and that's my just showing you guys my mindset and the reason why I did that. Now it could turn. I don't think that it will. It's up here right up against resistance at the highs up here, what, 565.16. So that's probably why we're seeing a little bit of a pullback up here. And it could turn. You can see right here we had a doji candlestick right here, a wick right here, um, a nice red candle yesterday, and then here we are today. That's why I went out and gave myself some time, like 28 days, and then I just hold it right there. And I also have a put spread in FSLR. Market is reversing right now. I wonder what's going on. Here's FSLR. Look at it on the daily. You can see right here. Look like it's making up on my next level on it. I'm gonna call it 240. I actually got 243, but I'll probably be out of this at 240. And I sold a put spread here. But we do see, like, right now, I don't know what's going on, if some news came out or what, but I can see the market is doing a little bit of a reversal at this current moment. Now that call that I bought out at 570, I paid what, 435 for. So we'll see. Um, I don't know what happened right here. Maybe just hit a little bit of resistance, or it could be some news. They could be talking about, you know, assessing the comments that he made afterwards. But a lot of, for the most part, if we pull up let's pull up, you looking at the S&P 100 right here, watch list, and the majority of the stocks in the S&P 100 are up. S&P 500, we got, out of 500 stocks in the S&P 500, 317 of them are up. So, like, I got that on my watch list over here. So the majority of them are up, and you can see, but the SPY is making a downturn. So let's see what we got here. When I get off, I'm gonna go on there and look. Let's look at Tesla. Tesla seems like it's turning around a little bit too. You see, you got a wick right here. Let's look at which other one we want to look at. The one, Nvidia. Nvidia's wicking a little bit as well. I got levels on Nvidia. Next level up for Nvidia. It ain't quite hit it yet. 132. It was up yesterday. It was up right around 130.75. Let's see. Let's come over here. Let's look at Apple. I don't have any levels for Apple. I think I got some for Meta. You can, if you notice, and I don't know if you're paying attention, we have similar price patterns in here for the stocks. They look similar, and we're starting to get a small downturn in the market right now. But basically, guys, I just want to come on, show you guys I did place a trade. I did get long a call. We're gonna see how it looks. It may end up a little bit down today, just because, or it may just be filling the gap from earlier. We'll see. May come down in here. If the market continues to come down, I could see it coming down into here and maybe find support. I would look for support right around here at this gap level right here. Find support at this gap, and support for that will put us right at what? That'll be right around 550. So if we get a big sell off going into next week, I will look at 550 as being that level. Now, this call I bought will last for 28 days. I bought this call with the intention of all or nothing for the most part. Either I'm gonna hit my target of 570 up here, or it depends on how it looks. Like, if the market was to just tear off to the downside, maybe I would sell out of it. Maybe if I'd risk maybe a third of it to possibly double it. Because you can see, if it goes in the money, it'll be worth probably close to a grand, about 950, which would double It's, which would be like 2 to 1 or what I paid for it. Excuse me. So hey guys, hopefully you got something out of this video. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. If we get a big move today, I'll come back and talk about it. I'm gonna go and listen to some more CNBC, listen to people, see what they're saying about how they view the market, and then we're gonna go from there. Get my workout in as well. I ain't did my workout yet. So with that being said, guys, I'm gonna be out. Peace.